throws a shoulder for good measure.
Revenge on this defense here. That is true. High in the air. Right center field. Brandon comes in. Welcome to 2025. Today. This one the other way. It's still going back. That's the track. Walks up and down.
Edwards pulls off and buries it. Richardson drives out for Robbie Ryan. Her three right on the money.
Takes his shot for Derby. Flag out. Doesn't matter. Touchdown.
What is up, my peeps? Welcome on into Pitchfork Lunch. Yes, I am Michael Carrotino at Diablo00 on X, the artist formerly known as the Twitter, as you guys know. Yes, you do know this. Check out the show live there every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1, as you know. Yeah, check out the show live there. Also, the wonderful, good old world of the IG, the Instagram. You can go to my IG at michael.carrotenuto.5. And yes, check it out there. Don't be bashful. And YouTube. Guys, I know I tell you this but every day, but go to YouTube. Watch the show live on YouTube. And again, thank you to the new subscribers. Check out the show live on YouTube. And but also subscribe to the channel because any of the phenomenal comp reviews you've missed, a.k.a. you saw the highlight coming in, the first goal there by the senior who joined us, Cameron Valladares, yesterday. Again, so grateful that we could catch up with Cam from the soccer team as they, again, head out to Cincinnati. As they head out to Cincinnati to take on the Bearcats and then West Virginia to take on the Mountaineers. Yeah, so they are headed there, which again is again try and keep up their stellar start to this season, as you guys know. And again, they've been rocking it. So yes, definitely don't want to definitely want to keep that going again. Yes, they lost to UCF, but again, a 3-2 game. Again, still sending good vibes and healing to Ella Kettles as again, guys, a lot of people responded, but it is was tough to see, but very tough to see. But yeah, I mean, she's again doing her. I mean, she's been doing an amazing job too. Obviously, in the midfield for the Devils, and just again as a sophomore, what she's been able to do. Um, 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 but yeah, I mean, again, soccer's general what they've done. Great start. Speaking of great starts too, obviously, volleyball sweeping the Kansas schools. Last year, they opened a Big 12 play in Texas, as you might recall. And you might not, but see, I recall that for you. They took on TCU, beat TCU, went down to Baylor, had the cricket match, and yes, we'll talk more about that when Baylor comes here. But had the match in the gym with the crickets, which is hilarious in and of itself. But they split that because they had fallen to Baylor, and then, as you guys know, went on a tear, huge winning streak, and end up later in the season when Kansas was the top, beating Kansas here in Tempe, and then Kansas actually went down to Tucson and had fallen after that. So, but the Devils just kept winning, and yeah, Big 12 champs, and they get their rings Saturday night. Is my point, because they take on Utah. Again, this Saturday, obviously a week before the Devils take them on in football. But yeah, absolutely awesome. They'll get their Big 12 championship rings. So that in and of itself, of course, always a great treat, as we know. But yeah, so it's very again exciting, and again Big 12 play coming here, and let's see if they can. Again, it is one match at a time. And Coach Van Neal, you've seen him. I've played post game pressers. We have him on the show. We're going to aim to get him back on the show as well. But we also get players too as well. But again, just a lot of volleyball we played. It is going to be very tough in the Big 12 because yes, not only are you hunting yourself, but you're more of the target on your back. Champs, everybody wants to give you their best and try and punch you in the mouth. So, hey, but we know Coach Van Neal, this team, they are definitely up for it, right, my Pitchfork Lunchers? You guys know this. We've talked about it, and yeah, they are again so fun to watch. And again, Noemi Glover, when she was out of lineup, a little injury, it was tough. But you saw this team be able to be flexible and move around, and yet have depth, but develop that depth and be able to use it on the court and still obviously get victory. So, yeah, I mean, and in non-con beating last year's national champs in Penn State, come on. So the mojo definitely going on for volleyball. Football, guys, and I kind of buried the lead. I know some of you have seen it. I did retweet it, and we did talk about it. It wasn't finalized yet. Well, I talked about it, mentioned it because it was broke last week, early last week, and it's one of those things where ASU football is playing in London. They are playing Kansas. It is a home game for Kansas. We'll hear from Coach Dillingham. Did talk about that real quick after practice today. So we'll hear from Coach Dillingham. We're going to hear from a lot today. We'll hear from Coach Dillingham. We're going to hear from Prince Dorba. We're also going to hear from Coach Carrington, obviously the secondary coach, defensive backs, working with the corners, and just, again, hell of a job they've done. So, but yes, we'll hear from a lot today. But yeah, so they are going to London. It is finalized. Was announced. Brett Yormark, the commissioner of the Big 12. I almost had talked about Big 12. Made the announcement, and yeah, so it's a home game for Kansas. It'll be September 19th. It'll be week 3. So, guys, passports if you don't have them, and let's head over to London. And check out ASU and Kansas. But yeah, it'll be absolutely amazing. Great opportunity. Commissioner Yormark of the Big 12 saying that it's just another footprint in making the Big 12 as a conference the biggest internationally, the biggest conference internationally. And obviously, we know K-State, Iowa State opened up in Ireland this season. So yeah, very exciting. And so yeah, I mean, just again, very, very exciting. So yeah, plus we're going to hear from Coach Winkworth through today. So again, hearing from a lot. It's after Sunday's game. Again, the tough loss to UCF, but again, he did talk. And didn't play it yesterday, and then I did play it Monday, but again, recording. So I'm going to bring it to you again because hey, it's Pitchfork Lunch. Like I said, onward, upward. We keep rocking it and go from there. But yeah, so again, very excited. But for football, again, going to actually, maybe who knows? Well, they'll actually be playing, so who does know? But maybe Coach Winkworth can piggyback and get a game for his team over there. Yeah, who knows? Maybe he schedules somehow he gets touch. That would be probably pretty tough to do. But yeah, so stoked. Devils playing Kansas. In London, like I said. So yeah, guys, you should be very, very stoked about that one. As So yeah, again, but we'll hear from Coach Winkworth too. But yeah, a lot to get to. But like I said, soccer, but football again, playing in London, absolutely awesome. Great opportunity for Sun Devil fans, and yeah, said the same thing. But yeah, Commissioner Yormark, Big 12 again, doing these things and pounding the table for your comments as he should, but he shouldn't have to. And I'll get into that. We were talking pretty good conversations out of practice today. So nonetheless, though, yeah, but so we're gonna hear from all of them. But I'm gonna step aside because again, we got to get to it. So I'm gonna step aside real quick. When we get back, we are gonna start with Coach Dillingham talking about that, and then we'll get to Prince Dorba, obviously Defensive Player of the Week, 3 sacks in the game, the strip sack, fumble, recovery, all in one, just absolute beast. And then he said Friday after the game, he goes, "Yeah, I was just playing football." So again, absolutely awesome. But we'll hear from Prince Dorba. We'll come back. We'll hear from Coach Dillingham. Then we'll hear from Prince Dorba, and then also Coach Carrington, defensive backs coach. So a lot to get to, man. Do not miss it because you're going to miss a little bit of info if you do. So we'll step aside, have more Pitchfork Lunch coming right up. All right, my Pitchfork Lunchers, we are back here on Pitchfork Lunch. And yes, I am Michael Carrottonito at Diablo00 on X, the artist formerly known as the Twitter. Don't be bashful. Go check out the show live there every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. My IG, michael.carrottonito.5. Yes, do not forget that. So yeah, we're going to get right to it though, like I told you guys, because we are going to hear from Coach Dillingham first. Again, talking about going over to London, obviously the bye week, what they're working on, all that good stuff. So yes, it's very awesome to see. So, yes, we're going to hear from Coach Dillingham today after practice, and then going to go into Prince Dorba right after that, and then come back and we'll get to Coach Carrington and Coach Winkworth. So, but anyway, yes, so here is Kenny Dillingham again talking about London. They're going next year, Kansas. Let's bring it. That's awesome. It's against Kansas. So, yeah. Anyway, but yes, I will. Let's just get to the Coach Dillingham, and he can tell you about it.
And then to London, so it's going to be a great challenge.
So heading over on to London now that it's official. Thoughts on that trip?
Yeah, we go to A&M and then to London, so it's going to be a great challenge for us.
You were a GA 2015 as you played Texas A&M, Houston. That didn't go well, and then there's maybe some knock-on effects. But you're going to have a team that's going to have a lot of new starters next year. Is that a concern at all?
I'm not really thinking that far ahead. I just know anytime you go to those environments, it's a great challenge. So to go from that environment straight to another challenging environment overseas, that's a tough challenge for our team early in the year. So we'll see what we're made of early next year.
The fact that it's not a home game, does that matter to you?
That didn't really matter to me. It's a good challenge. I mean, that's the best way I can put it.
Kenny, yesterday the budget got approved by the Arizona Board of Regents for not only the new football facility, but also for the renovations of just financial arena. Just what are your necessary reactions to that? Kind of the announcement, obviously, a month ago, but now it's kind of all the plan's now beginning to come into fruition a little bit.
I really can't comment on that. I can't comment on that at all. I don't really understand. Yeah, I can't comment on that.
But you would. It is your goal to have that practice.
I mean, that's the goal. I don't know where that money came from, so that's great news for us. Like, that's why I can't comment. Like, I don't know the details of that specific report, where that report came from, how that report changed from my Monday meeting to that report coming out on Tuesday. So that's why I just can't. I don't have enough knowledge to comment on that information because I don't really know about it.
Coach, Jesus has obviously pretty much been as advertised, but special teams as a whole could, maybe has room to improve. What's kind of your thoughts on that unit as a whole?
Our special teams units?
Yeah,
they've been good. I mean, obviously, Kenny went out, and we've struggled punting into the wind. But, other than that, our special teams units as a whole, we returned a kickoff. They got called back close. We've hit 2 game-winner field goals. So, I mean, people can look at stats when they look at it, but that's not the whole unit as a whole. Sometimes it's one punt, one kickoff. There's a period of time where we were missing some of the kickoffs, and we cleaned that up by switching hashes. So for the most part, I mean, our special teams unit has been good. Anybody can take stats and spin them 97 directions and say what they want to say, and that's true for offense, defense, and special teams.
And Coach, Jared finally got his big play on Friday. How good did that feel to finally get him that after weeks of just being on the doorstep?
Yeah, huge for him. The first catch in college football in that type of setting was huge. So I'm excited to see what that does moving forward. Obviously getting some guys hopefully back this week on the offensive side of the ball could help us too.
Kenny, I apologize, I hopped a little late here, but do you mind just commenting again on the opportunity to go international, go to London?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great challenge for us. It's a great opportunity for our guys to go see a different country, but it's a great challenge. So we'll plan in London. Let's go to London.
What would having Jalen Moss back do?
Yeah, and obviously another guy who can catch the football, who's caught 90 catches, maybe 100 catches in his last 2 years in college football. So a guy who's done it under the lights, which is huge for us, especially playing a team that is known to be sticky in coverage. So getting a guy who's just kind of long passes.
When you don't have slot receiver depth and or talent as good as you'd like it to be, how limiting is that in the short red area?
Yeah, I think the short red area, I got to be better as a coach. I got to give our guys better opportunities to be successful. Like we can't just force things. We got to be more creative and try to really create one-on-ones down there instead of really good one-on-ones. So I think it starts with me down there in the little red area. We cleaned up the red area. Now we got to clean up the red zone. So I think, or the goal line. So I think if we clean up the goal line and short yardage, that's our next step as an offense. Because first downs are good. Red area was good last week. goal line, short yardage, or that area. They're basically the same down and distance, same situation, except the extra safeties in the fit in the low red sometimes, more cover zero. Other than that, same situation, so we got to clean up that area.
Coach, you mentioned the offensive line, like moving guys in and out, but obviously the chemistry, they've been playing well together, developing depth. But just your thought, I mean, up until the bye week, of how this group has performed to come together.
Yeah, I mean, we have the leading rusher in the country. In our league. So doing well. There's obviously areas of improvement, like short yardage, and that's a team improvement area. But on first and second downs, on early downs, I think they're doing a nice job.
What have you seen from Keith Abney to really allow him to make the strides he has in his second year as a starter?
Work ethic and intelligence. He works hard and he's smart. And that's a nasty combination. When you work hard and you're smart, you're usually successful. And he works hard and he's smart, and he's a really good person.
This has been briefly touched upon before, but what challenges in specific do Spencer Fano and Caleb Lomu present the edge group that just had a massive game?
They're both first-round draft picks. That's a pretty big challenge. They block well. They play offensive tackle, and they're good blockers. Usually don't want to, go versus that. I actually recruited both. I recruited Spencer to Oregon, unbelievable kid, unbelievable family, and number 2 or number 1, however you spin it, is from here. We recruited him and tried to flip him my first year here, Lomu. So they're both really good players, both really good families, both really good people. So I kind of wish we got them both. I wish one went to Oregon. I wish the other guy came here. We didn't have to play him, but they're both at Utah, and we get to play 2 first-rounders.
How fun is it going up against an offensive line that's that good, but your defense is really challenging?
I'd rather go versus an offensive line that's not that good, personally. But it's a great challenge. But I'd much rather go versus me playing left tackle. I would sleep way better at night if, like, me and my brother were playing offensive line. But they've got a really good O-line. They got a really good program, so it's a good challenge for us.
You guys good? Got Coach
Cool. All right, over and out.
Thanks, Coach.
You're going against yourself.
Or you can't win.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? I've done some.
Time will come whenever number crown. Just backfire every opportunity I get.
Can you reflect on your game against TCU as one of the most dominating games I've seen a D-line have here?
Most definitely, bro. We would prepare well. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. All week we kind of knew just going in that we had an advantage up front, and we just wanted to go up there and just show that we're a dominant defensive line. See, so just going out there every day and executing at a high level, because early on we weren't really executing at a high level. And as you see towards the end, we try to execute, and just turn the tide.
Can you go through the strip sack? I don't know if I've ever seen a strip sack like that.
For me, our coach, especially Coach Reynolds, and all our coaches, Coach Billy, B. Ward, they always preach, man, just get after the ball, get after the football. And Coach Reynolds preached us. Even with Billy, he came out meeting him literally last week. It was like, somebody's gonna get a strip sack. I don't know who's gonna do it. So just me, just like how we rush, we compete every day. We have a little competition saying who's going to be the first one to get the strip sack. So just having the opportunity, going out there and just executing. Whenever I was just pass rush, I kind of just saw the ball was right there. So once I went after, I just seen that he was trying to break the sack. So I kind of just went for the football at that point.
In that vein, can you talk about how big it's been for the defense that you've been able this year in every game pretty much to get pressure with basically your 4-down linemen up front?
Shoot, you know how they say, man, if you can get pressure on 4 down front, you're going to have a really good defense, especially up front. So just being over for us, being over for our coach to be able to trust us to go rush without having to call pressures, it gives our back end a lot of help, and that helps us up front, because, they have to do a lot of covering. And for us to be able to get pressure with 4-man and just run our games and execute at a high level, it's going to help us go a long way.
Prince, building off of that, Coach Kinney has said he's noticed how much better you guys have gotten as a unit off the edge. How have you seen the growth between you, Clayton, Elijah, Justin, everybody working together?
Coach really trying to make this place one of probably the most competitive environments. So every day we come to practice, bro, it's like the competition. Who's trying to run the best rep, do the best drills. Who wants to get out there and actually get the rep. So it's just fun, bro, because from year one to now, you can see a lot of dudes just gotten a lot better, a lot bigger, a lot faster, a lot stronger. And just seeing pass rushing, bro. Coach Reynolds tries to make a competitive pass rush environment. So every time we go out there, just trying to win the rep, because if you lose, we're going to pick on you. So it's just fun to see the growth from year one to year 3.
And principally, speaking of Daron, Kenny wasn't even joking. He said, I don't send Daron out to recruit. He needs to stay here. He needs to be a developer. Just about the impact that Daron has had on you from last year until now.
I mean, man, it's not a day, man. He's helped my game and my growth, you know, just understanding the game and just being a smart football player, not just a football player, you know. So just, I mean, what he's done for me, you know, it's not a day, bro. Like, I understand the game a lot more. I feel like the game is slowing down a lot more for me, and I just have a bunch of moves that I always know that I can go to, rely on, just because the way we practice and go about our day. So, I mean, he's helped me a lot, and I'm glad he's here, and I mean, I can't wait for my game to continue to grow because of him.
And then two of the best quarterbacks in the league the last 2 weeks, and in Utah now you're going to go up against another good one with a different kind of game. Can you talk about the challenges that will pose?
Yeah, most definitely, man. They have a great runner. I mean, great quarterback back there, great running back back there, and great O-line. You know, two of them probably going to get drafted in the first round. So just seeing, I mean, the way they play against Utah, they always go out there and play really hard. I mean, so we just have to really be on our game because they're going to come out here and really hurt. You know, something, you know, really loud environment. So we got to be on our game.
And then you played in that environment 2 years ago. What would it be like at night? It's
I mean, I don't expect nothing less than me because when I was there, it was really loud, man. We really couldn't hear nothing. So just going out there being prepared and communication just have to be on point and at a high level to come out there with a W.
Last year, did you really ever get into the flow of the game with the injuries starting out the season?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I was really, I mean, mentally, I wouldn't say I did. And just coming here my first year, just understanding like, just to like take off all the negative because I was really more negative so on myself after I got hurt, you know, because I was all alone, just kind of just dealing with a bunch of stuff. But you know, just mentally make sure I'm in the right headspace whenever I come to practice, whenever I go to the game, just so I can go out there and execute.
And Prince, talking about the right headspace, coaches mentioned it. I mean, I know Coach Warch has been here talking about everybody doing their 111th, and you're talking about working with Coach Reynolds and just trusting each other. So not feeling like, you know, one person on the D-line has to make the big play. How much is that, do you feel finally maybe like sunk in for the D-line to bring the play up to what it's been?
I mean, yeah, you hit that on the head, man, because, you know, especially for the D-line, bro, Coach always says, don't hunt plays, man, let the plays come to you. So, you know, as a D-line, we always want to go make the play, make this, but, you know, not every play is your play to make. You know, you're just supposed to go out there and just do your job, you know, make sure that the play don't go to your side, you know, and making sure that everyone does their job so we have play a great defense, how the defense is supposed to play. So, you know, our defense is not made for play hunters, you know, it's made for everyone coming out here, just executing at a high level, and then whenever your opportunity comes, you make your play. So just understanding that, man, and just seeing it come to fruition this week was kind of one of the big things for us.
When you compare the vibe after 5 games this year compared to after 5 games last year, do you feel like this is a team that can repeat as Big 12 champions the way you played?
I mean, for me personally, I'll say we always have a team that can always go back up there, man. It comes down to mentally what we do out here every day and how hard we practice and go to work, man. So at the end of the day, it's really just us and how we come out and compete. So I'm not really worried about like repeating, bro, because at the end of the day, if we go out here and do what we're supposed to do and execute at a high level every single week, the numbers, the stats, the wins will take care of themselves. So I mean, you can say anybody can go out there and win a Big 12, but the ones that do are the ones that go to work every single day, and the ones that are the best are the ones that are winning and coming out here and executing at a high level every single day. So at the end of the day, we go out there and do what we need to do. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves.
What was it like to have that kind of performance, national TV on a Friday night, tons of scouts there, and to have that kind of breakout performance?
I mean, it's a blessing, you know. That's just something for me. I've just been waiting for, you know, and just praying for having, even my coaches, man, they've just been waiting for me to actually just have one of those games that, you know, I could have. And just being the type of player I am, I know that I can have just one of these games, just going out there and showing what I'm doing. But it's time to show, I mean, everyone that I'm one of the best defensive linemen in the country, so I just want to go out there and prove everyone wrong.
There we go. Yep, that was Prince Dorba talking about it. I mean, the strip sack, everything, absolutely, again, just awesome. So yeah, I mean, just again, a great game from him. And you heard Coach Dillingham obviously excited. Yeah, he couldn't. Again, report came out about like the practice field where he wants to do it over by, the stadium and parking lot 59. As a lot of you know it over there, but yeah. So I believe me, if things fully get confirmed and come out, I got you. We got you as we go around Sun Devil Nation here. So, but yeah, Coach, asked about the O line and special teams. He's just talking about the young guys getting their snaps this week, and the last part of practice on the bye week, Coach did it last year as well, is the vets, the guys that are the ones and twos, coaching them up from the side, to be honest, and then um young guys again that looking to sign quite a few, obviously playing on special teams. We're going to hear from Coach Carrington in a second, so I asked him about Martell Hughes doing that, and we'll get to that. But nonetheless, but Prince Dorba, I mean, like you said, the defensive line doing the 111th. That's why I asked him that and trusting each other. You heard Coach Dillingham talk about it. You heard Coach Ward obviously talk about it for the defense, and even when we talked to Coach Reynolds, like Prince said, you don't have to play the hero ball, like, oh, I got to, I'm going to go do this, I'm going to do that. Like everybody does it. It's the perfectly choreographed, whatever you want to say, perfectly choreographed dance. Like it's just everybody moving, in unison. And yeah, sometimes it just might be a call that offense is in a play in a call that, beats it. That's the chess match that we always get to see, that we love, and all that good stuff. So yeah, but for Prince, I mean, again, coming out and what he's battled, and you talk about, obviously the injuries he's battled, and Clayton Smith, obviously he had, Coach talking about, the weight he put on and just how he's gone about just bettering himself and being disciplined and in everything. So, that he's doing football wise, whether it's nutrition and this and that, and of course, he's trying to educate his teammates on nature, man. All these snakes aren't going to hurt you. They're not poisonous, but hey, man, I've tried, Clayton. I've tried. You know that. They will not go hunting with you. And for those of you Pitchfork Lunchers saying, what about you? I never said I wouldn't go with him. It'd be cool to cover it with him. But like I said, I'll just make sure he's in front of me doing it. And, he's got to be the buffer because, yeah, I want to see him, but he's got to catch him first and wrangle him up. So that's my that's my thing. But I have no problem going, that being said. So, but yeah, I love what Prince is talking about right there. Obviously defense had to come back. They got 17 points on the board quick again, but ASU and the offense takes a deep breath. You get that touchdown, kind of, they exhale. Coach Arroyo, and we'll hear from him tomorrow, but Coach Arroyo talking about it, just the comfort, calling like what Sam does, what Sam can do, and, the offense, and obviously Jordan Tyson, and now the leading rushing team had the leading rusher in the conference in Raleigh Brown, averaging over 100 yards a game. So, yeah, I mean, this bye week comes at a beautiful time. Again, you have reset to get, little obviously bumps and bruises, but to get a little bit healthier, see who we can get back. Coach said in his presser on Monday, X probably won't be back for Utah, Xavier Alford, but Jalen Moss might be. So, again, we'll get more, obviously, after this weekend, all that good stuff, and then we'll get back next week. So, yes. But, yeah, what Prince Zorba's saying there and the way he's playing, the way he, obviously, transferring here and, it's Coach Ward talked about it. It's like this defense and, again, what they're doing, but just trusting each other, putting in the work, being accountable. What did Coach Dillingham say from the beginning outside of Activate the Valley, but working harder and anybody in the country having more fun than anybody in the country. Yeah, having more fun than anybody in the country, working harder than anybody in the country. That's the mantra. And, again, yes, the dog days of practice can get monotonous. You hear coaches say, you've been out since the middle of July. Fall camps are the end of July, but still, players are back. So it can get a little monotonous, but this bye comes, again, you get refreshed, recharged. So, again, absolutely awesome. I just can't, it's one of those things where on a bye week, you get the momentum going. It's like, man, I want to get back out there. But look, it's nice to have week 5, just right before the halfway point of the season or of your games, but of the season for your games. So, yes. But let's hear from Coach Carrington. Again, talking about, Chris Carter's, scrum, but, talking a lot about Keith Abney's in the corners. But, don't worry. Question there about Rodney Bimmage. So, but anyway, great, always catching up with Coach Carrington. But yes, here he is right now after practice.
Sum up the way that he's been playing throughout the season.
He's been playing really detailed football. He's taking it 1 week at a time. He's really goal oriented. Focuses on finishing the season. His goal is on finishing the season at the same level that he's playing right now. So he's just trying to keep the bar high. And, it doesn't really matter all the metrics, all the accolades he gets right now if he doesn't finish the season. He's at the same level.
He was a good player last year, but what's enabled him to make that next jump?
He's just more of a leader. He's really comfortable in our defensive scheme. He's really comfortable when it comes to communication. He's taken a step up from his process of how he watches film, how he prepares. So I just feel like from a preparation standpoint, he's a pro, and it's paying off on Saturdays.
Yeah, the extra prep, how does that actually show up on game days?
It shows up as far as, us as coaches, me and Coach Walker, trying to find snaps for other corners. It's hard to take Keith Abney off the field, whether he's playing whether he's playing towards the field. Even last game, switching him and putting him on number 7 kind of took a little heat off of Rodney in that game. So, from a coach's standpoint, he's a guy that we trust to make the right decisions and make everybody around him better when he's out there on the field.
It seems like his play strength is better too. Like he's heavier, stronger guy.
Absolutely. He's a cut up guy. He's cut up like a diamond. I know it doesn't look like that, when he has pads on, but he's a pretty well put together guy. Probably around 185 pounds. He's well put together.
So what are if you're trying to squeeze out even more from him? What does that entail?
Yeah, just winning 80% of his targets for the rest of the season is a goal, and me and Coach Walker are trying to challenge him, to play at. Right now he's probably at 70% winning percentage on his targets, so just trying to keep the bar higher. He has aspirations to be, first team all conference, so just continuing to keep that bar high so he can achieve it. Right now he's in a good spot. We just have to finish and close out the rest of the season.
You mentioned Rodney. I'm sure that you knew that he was capable of having a really good performance if needed to play a lot of snaps, and then that showed up on Friday. So what was it like?
Absolutely. Rodney is a guy that, played 50 snaps in the last game, the most snaps he's ever played in his career. But the thing that we like about Rodney is he plays with a lot of grit, plays with a lot of passion, and he has the stamina of a welterweight boxer. So when he's out there, you're going to see a lot of fight, you're going to see a lot of grit. And the more and more that he gets opportunities, the better he'll improve from a knowledge standpoint, from a preparation standpoint. Him being a freshman, playing as much as he's played is going to benefit him long term. But we certainly feel like the sky's the limit, and Rodney has a lot of upside.
Yeah. Javen, he was banged up, I know, wasn't able to go. But what have you thought about just his season to this point?
Yeah, I thought Javen has attacked the season very well in comparison to last year. He had some weight goals that I feel like he met. And in playing, we just want Javen to trust his instinct, just play a lot confident. He's a very athletic football player, has a lot of twitch. We feel like he can challenge the route tree, just being able to to make those plays on Saturdays. Another guy that we're challenging to be at 70% on winning his targets for the rest of the season. But we feel like, Javen and Keith coming back, having 2 starters that played on the playoff team last year is tremendous for us. And us having Rodney and Nyland behind those guys and a guy like Joseph Smith, we just want to kind of build the culture and have a next man up mentality. When your number's called, you got to uphold our standards. So Rodney, his number was called versus, our last opponent versus TCU, and he was able to hold our standard.
Nyland's had pretty high PFF grades. What have you thought about how he's done?
Yeah, Nyland has done a really good job. Nyland being the 4th corner is kind of hard to find snaps for Nyland at this point. We just kind of consistently telling Nyland to just stay on the horse. A lot of these games, a lot of these situations that we've been in have been gotta have it series, gotta have it moments in the game. So we really can't shuffle the deck at those times. We just got to keep our best players on the field. We feel like Javen and Rodney has earned that right to be on the field when it counts.
How to go back to Rodney though? I mean, I asked Coach yesterday just about having depth, but now the confidence in it, and obviously the players trusting the system, and Rodney, being here early, haven't been in it, but I mean, getting to be obviously behind Keith, behind Javen, just talking to them. I know obviously he wanted to be on the field, but how big was that for him just to see them do it and his film room study leading up to this?
Yeah, I mean, it started last year. Him traveling every game, preserving his rest rate, getting to be able to play spot at times. But the difference between last year and this year, we're putting him in situations that count. We're not putting him in situations where it's kind of playing with a little house money. We're putting him in situations that count. So it's going to challenge him from an IQ standpoint. It's going to challenge him from a decision-making standpoint. But we feel at these levels, obviously Rodney's talented from an athlete standpoint. He's exceptional. But the errors that happen and big plays that happen in college football, they're not based on athleticism. They're based on mental errors. So just making sure that he continues to train his mind to be able to know pre-snap, post-snap, before motion, after motion, his job, his responsibility, and executing his 111 is the goal and the focus for him.
Brian Ward said there's still room to get better always. What are some of the themes to the getting better?
Yeah, getting better with him is just becoming more of a student of the game. We feel like guys have to marry this game, marry this process. It's hard to kind of fall in love and propose to the game, from a high school standpoint. But when you get into college and you see a guy like Keith Abney achieving goals, getting accolades from a national standpoint, marry it. We've already pulled the ring out and proposed to him. He just has to say, I do. And just the process of getting better is gradual, but we feel like at some point he'll definitely achieve it.
How does that pass rush, putting out a game like they had on Friday, help you guys?
Unbelievable job. I mean, Dyron has done a great job. Dyron and Vince have done a great job with our D-line. They're active. There's so many moments on film where we might not be in the best coverage, but the D-line saves the day. So it's great to have that as a component to our defense. I feel like we've really been playing really good defense these past three weeks, holding teams that have averaged over 500 yards to around 300 yards. So I mean, that's something that's really good to see. But we can be a lot better than where we are right now.
And I know obviously Martell had that closing interception, and in high school he had played in the secondary. But I mean, when you see obviously a linebacker, at least the D line bailed him out. For you this year too, because I know I asked you last year. I mean, you guys knew what you had in the building, but the question was, what about the linebackers? Well, they answered it every week last year, but now the depth that Coach Coop has coming back. But I mean, for Martell to make that play in his athleticism, what have you seen out of that group, and especially Martell?
I feel like Martell is nirvana of what you want to recruit as a linebacker in 2025. Somebody that is playing safety and probably had a lot of opportunities to play safety out of high school, but you go from playing safety at that height and length, and it's kind of maybe a liability in certain instances 40 yards down the field. But you take a guy like that and you put him in the box, and he's close to the ball. Now he has elite athleticism. He has an elite ability to challenge the route trees matched up against tight ends and running backs, and he just has an exceptional knowledge. So you go from being a okay safety to being a really elite linebacker prospect. So I mean, hopefully we can get more guys like him, in the future. But to have a guy like that on the defense, he's kind of like that hybrid player that has been trending the past 5 years in football. So to just have a guy like that is great to see him make a play in the biggest moment.
Yeah, Coach Ward had mentioned that a little bit yesterday too when I asked him about, he's like, a guy comes and plays safety. So from a coverage standpoint in the box, these running backs might think they have an advantage, and then all of a sudden he's like,
Absolutely.
not really.
Like that when I was at the University of Texas, DeMarvin Overshawn played safety out of high school.
Yeah.
It was kind of a little obsolete, in coverage, wasn't his strong suit, but you put a guy like that in the box, sky's the limit, he adds weight, he's going to look like a unicorn, and, when healthy, that guy's a starting linebacker for the Cowboys.
And then guys wanting to get on the field. I know last year, obviously talking to Coach Regal and the time he's been here, but even talking to you, like, yeah, you're going to have to cut your teeth. And I know you even heard, saying the guys that want to go to the NFL, like, you're going to have to cut your teeth on special teams.
Absolutely.
But to follow up a little bit more on Martell, I mean, last year I know, it culminated in, obviously he blocked that kick. Montana got it, goes for the touchdown. But in playing special teams, I mean, do you feel like at least maybe in the linebacker position, it's even bigger for them to get those reps and get on the field and the physicality?
It's essential because you can make an impact on the game. You can make an impact on the game. A lot of guys may not be able to be the Green Ranger year one or year.
There he is. And yeah, that was Coach Carrington. Yeah, he was saying, being a prospect and unfortunately ran out of space. But I'm always honest with you guys. So anyway, but yeah, but from Art telling me, he's just, he played safety, and you mentioned, Overshawn, who's playing for the Cowboys now. And you see that, like, that hybrid player, just athletic, and make that coverage and, or play in coverage like that, but also come up and, Coach Cooper was talking after practice too. I mean, he was playing at 195 last year, coming in as a freshman, and, he was playing, there were times he was a third and long linebacker that was out there, as the season wound on last year. So the talent obviously there, we all know this, but yeah, Coach Harrington is going on to say that it's, cutting his teeth and, having to do it there, but like special teams and just giving effort, absolutely awesome. And I asked him, if we were talking about after, I said that it was just one of the things where Coach also went on to say that, that it's just developing that, that attitude as well too. And, you look at, see the talking about Keith Abney is secondary right there. That's why I asked about Rodney Bimmage as well. The confidence. He's like, yeah, he was in last year, but now he's in the situations. You heard him say that, last year was kind of like, okay, we had like you said, the house money to play with. And like Coach Dillingham said yesterday, it's one of those things where, the talent, yeah, was he there? He could have even played, yeah, but, he didn't have to. He watched, he saw, you're seeing how Keith and Javen work, and, the DBs over there. Even you saw somebody like a Shamari Simmons at nickel, what he was doing. X and Miles, at safety, and even though X is out, Boogie Wilson, how he's grown too, just in the time he, obviously transferred here, but in the time he's been here, and it's just, you saw him walking by Coach Carrington there, teasing him in the beginning of the interview. So, but yeah, I love what Martell. And then for Coach Cooper, he was saying, I asked Coach Cooper about that, playing special teams. He said, yeah, it's just, so much more. And, just with body language and being physical. And, he was in on third, sometimes third and longs last year. He was in on. So that in and of itself, again, very awesome, because when you look at it, it's one of those things where you see that, that he, body language is huge, because he dropped the interception earlier in the game, and he said he loved the leadership from Tate Romney going over, picked him up and sitting on his chest. He goes, "You're right there." He goes, "Hey, hell of a play, you're right there," because he felt obviously he should have had the interception. That being said, when Coach was talking to me, he said, "Hey, they're going to come back to it," and it's from playing that safety position, in high school where he did, and sometimes you see he's long and think, okay, maybe he could be a little bit of a liability deep and back there, not really, but. Yeah, I mean, covering and that interception, and yeah, he slid down. They were up by, he slid down, and it wasn't about scoring the touchdown. It was about running out the clock and just a discipline to do that. Because I said last year, as any position, but as a defender, if I get an interception and I could score, you might not be thinking like, oh yeah, I can slide down, run the clock out, get this. Get these 6 points, get the extra, get these 7 points up, and they still have a lot less time. It's madness like that. But nonetheless, yeah, Coach Coop again saying just how Martell has grown, and and earlier in the week he was saying, hey, Saturday after the game saying, yeah, you're going to be the leader. You're going to be a junior. Keyshawn Elliott saying to him when they were watching the Cardinals game on Thursday night, like Coach was saying to us. So yeah, just love Martell Hughes, what he's doing. We talked to him earlier in the season. I'll talk to him again. But yeah, so. But hey, we're going to wrap on this. We're going to wrap on Coach Winkworth again from Sunday's game. Got to get it in here. Had Cam Valadares on yesterday, and she was, again, awesome. If you missed it, again, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm going to put some clips out there later on today, too, of it. So, you got to go back and watch anyway. So, but yeah, it's again, this team absolutely rolling. Yeah, I had a little hiccup, a little speed bump, and a very good, UCF team. Not just saying it because they lost 3-2, but it is a good UCF team who did not park the bus, as we all know, like Oklahoma State did. So yeah.
Oh, it's devastating. We were very poor today. First half in particular, we didn't look like us. So disappointed with our performance, and I'm more interested now in how we respond from that, because it wasn't good enough today.
And would you? I mean, obviously making adjustments because you've been kind of changing the shape up, putting Cam in the middle, moving. What'd you think of that group when they were out there like that?
Say that again.
When you changed obviously the shape up when Cam dropped into the middle.
Yeah, she played about 10 minutes in the middle, but it was just trying different things and throwing different things at them because what we normally do wasn't working, and but it wasn't just tactical. There was some mental things today that just wasn't good enough, and so I'll be interested to see how we respond in the next one.
Guta Frankie and Rahanja Reed were able to hold Valadares really well on that right side, trying to attack and push up in the first half. What did you see from their defensive performance, and how did you make adjustments to then get the 2 goals in the second half?
Yeah, no credit to UCF. They deserved the result today. They worked extremely hard. They were defensively solid all over the back four, not just their left side, but they did a wonderful job, and all credit to them and their coaches. We were beaten by a better team today, even though I think better team on today. I'm not sure they're a better team. I think we can do a lot better than we did. I can't remember the last part of the question, sorry.
In the game, your team registered 4 offside penalties and even a yellow card, while UCF, for the most part, played a clean game. So going into the Cincinnati game, is it going to be a point of emphasis to clean up these mistakes going against a tough Cincinnati team? Yeah,
unfortunately, the offsides early in the game were costly because we were in dangerous parts of the field, and if we, we can, and they're from players that can see the whole width of the pitch, so it's more difficult for centre forwards to stay on side when they're trying to challenge the last line, but wingers can do better, and unfortunately that wasn't the case early in the game, and so just got to continue to look across the line and step backwards when we find ourselves in offside positions.
Both goals in the second half coming from that right side cross. Was that an area that you told them to continue to attack, or how do you think your offense managed that side of the field? Yeah,
we were obviously very dangerous down that side. We've got some good players down there, and so not surprised that we created more chances from that side, but I thought in the second half we were more dangerous down our left side than we were in the first half as well. We weren't very good in the first half on either side. I thought both sides we were much better, and to be honest, if we take our chances in the first 10 minutes and then again in the second half, we win the game. And we're not clinical enough. We're not showing enough quality in front of goal, but also we're not. We didn't have enough fight today, and that's what's most disappointing. We're a team that work extremely hard, and I think the first good tackle of the game was unfortunately the one where Ella got hurt, and so we needed a little bit more of those types of tackles, not obviously with anybody getting hurt, but those types of tackles earlier in the game, and we wouldn't be sitting here with a defeat.
Coach, what's your biggest message for the team moving forward into Cincinnati?
It doesn't feel this way right now, but like we've had big wins, and I tell the team not to get too high on those big wins because the next one's coming. But we've played 11 games and we've only lost one. If you'd offered us 8-1-2 a couple of months ago, we'd have absolutely taken your hand off. So let's not get too down about one defeat. We just have to make sure that we respond with a good performance against Cincinnati.
And then sometimes, in different sports, always hear coaches say, but now going on the road, obviously having a long homestand is great, but what can it do for the team just hitting the road?
Yeah, it'd be good to spend some time with them. They're a lovely bunch of girls, and so when we travel, and the Big 12 is putting us on the road 5 straight weekends, so we're getting plenty of time to hang out with another. So this week will be fun because we haven't done it for a while, and we'll get to hang out. We'll probably be driving each other insane 5 weeks from now.
Obviously, the loss stings, but a lot of great things, tonight. Thomason was really good, down the left side and right side, middle of the pitch. Was that kind of a point of emphasis, especially in that second half, just trying to run the offense through her?
She had a great second half. I thought I said to the team at halftime, I told them that they're playing against a team that plays very similar way to us, so there will be a lot of 1v1 battles going on all over the pitch. And I think we lost 11 out of 11. So really disappointed with the first half. Second half was a little bit different and went away from playing some of the more attractive soccer that we've tried to play all season and just fought. And and Tatum managed to get herself in some good positions, and we moved her around a little bit. I think at the end of the game we were playing with 7 forwards or something crazy, just trying to get a goal, and nearly did, but wasn't quite to be.
And then Lucy's, I know you talked about obviously the defenders coming up on set pieces, but what did you just see from Lucy's goal?
Yeah, good finish, good header. She's shown that on the set pieces, and it started with a set piece. She just stayed high because we're losing. So it came from a throw in, it came back out. She was there to finish the cross, and so great finish. And I thought Pauli was going to get a one at the end there, nearly. That would have been nice.
Yes.
Anything else?
Cool.
And then, Coach Winkworth right there. Again, frustrated, but like you said, 8-1-2. You're not, not get too high, obviously, with all the wins, not get too low for one loss. And in the first half, there were some chances, and it was different this game because ASU, they will usually attack the north goal first. Well, or no? Oh yeah, they will usually attack the north goal first. Well, this game they were attacking the south goal in the first half. UCF did get the first goal of the game. So whatever, one of those things. And again, I know that sounds pitchfork lunchers. I know it sounds crazy, ridiculous, superstitious, like way, way, way carried away with like, oh, do you have any superstitions? But just, a little nose. But like you said, the first half, it's again back and forth, and it wasn't like playing Oklahoma State. They were moving that. Yes, there were a few offsides calls. I already talked about how terrible the refs were with I mentioned it yesterday, obviously having Cam on, and it's just like in any sport, you just want consistency. And there was quite a few times this game, where they were not making this calls both ends, and there were some that were the same, pretty much the same play. Like when I say pretty, people are like, well, if it wasn't exactly the same play, and the whistle didn't blow, is ridiculous. It was ridiculous. And yes, a few times the whistle did blow that players went down on both sides. And again, I was like, come on. So you call that, which wasn't anything, but nonetheless, yeah, nonetheless, it's, that was that. But yeah, I mean, you hear, but look, they had, like I said, they head to Cincinnati to take on the Bearcats, and that game is that game is tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. Yes, Thursday. Hey, happy October 1st, by the way. Um, they play tomorrow, 4 o'clock our time, so 7 o'clock back there in Cincinnati, and it's on ESPN Plus. And then Sunday, they will play at 9 a.m. our time, which is noon in West Virginia. And that's also on ESPN Plus. So again, Sunday morning, 9 o'clock isn't crazy. I mean, AM. It's at least it's not 7 a.m. here, but so you can get your Sunday going, wake up, and enjoy women's soccer out at West Virginia. So that is that. But yeah, Thursday again, 4 o'clock, ESPN Plus at Cincinnati. It's um, um, and Cincinnati, by the way, I was going to say to you in conference. And the Devils have hit the trifecta of their Big 12 record so far. They've won one, they've lost one, and they've won one, they tied one, and they lost one. So they're 1-1-1. As is UCF. It's funny because UCF is the same way too. They're 1-1-1. But yeah, you look at the Big 12 standings. TCU right now 3-0. Texas Tech 2-0-1, as is Colorado, and then Baylor and that school down south are 2-1. West Virginia is 1-0-2. ASU, Houston, and UCF 1-1-1, and then Kansas is 1-2, as is Iowa State, and then Utah is 0-1-2. Yeah, they're 0-1-2. Pardon me. And then Kansas State, K-State is 0-2-1. Oklahoma State 0-2-1. Of course, the draw against the Devils. They have two draws actually. So they they have two losses. So that is that is that. Gets K-State, they're 0-2-1, as is Oklahoma State and Cincinnati. So Cincinnati 2-4-5 overall. Again, you can't overlook them. West Virginia, again, we'll talk about that as they play. We'll recap the game with West Virginia. They're 6-2-2 right now. So again, but Cincinnati, a team that you see that. No, they will not overlook them, but you got to take care of business. So that is the women's soccer standings. And like I said, to kick off the show, first segment, guys, volleyball will be taking on Utah Saturday, 1 p.m. at the Desert Financial Arena because and they will be getting their rings, their Big 12 championship rings. Also, hockey at Mullet Arena Saturday night after volleyball. Again, make it a phenomenal Sun Devil day, my friends, my Pitchfork Lunch peeps, and they will be taking on Penn State. Get more into that tomorrow. We'll hear from Coach Powers tomorrow as well. So, and we'll see who we might have on guest-wise too. You never know. Anyway, but yes, so that'll do it for today's show. Again, Forks Up, volleyball, again, rocking it, getting those getting those rings on Saturday, and then soccer, like I said, football. Yeah, man, we're loving it. We're loving the fall sports here, as you know, basketball will be getting underway shortly too. So yeah, it's just rocking, man. Golf, women's golf, men's, women's tennis, softball with their fall schedule, and the football team headed to London, guys. That's next year, though. Again, a lot more to play this year. Let's enjoy it. Let's there. But yes, put it on your calendars for next season, because Arizona State will play Kansas at the iconic Wembley Stadium September 19th, 2026. So that's what we got. Anywho, yeah. So you guys have a most wonderful rest of your Mike, what day is it? Hump day. Woo, woo. Yep, you guys know that's for Mama. Always got to do that for Mama. Have a phenomenal rest of your Wednesday. I will see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. It is #our state. Thanks to reigning Big 12 champs and getting their championship rings. Women's volleyball for always reminding me of that and letting me know that last season it is #our state. And you know it. Go Devils. And as always, forks up.
I went to Arizona State. Right. I'm a Sun Devil, man.
The 27-yard line. That's a great call. Good play fake. Plummer will put it up. Throws over the middle. Cool. Touchdown. Quick flag.
3rd down and 5. 11 swings it to Scadaboo. Scadaboo breaks defenders. Here it goes again.
Scadaboo is the running back, and he is immediately met in the backfield, runs through the contact, and then throws a shoulder for good measure.
Of this defense here. That is true. High in the air. Right center field. Brandon Compton. Welcome to 2025.
This one the other way. Still going back. Got the drag. Walks up and down. Edwards pulls off and buries it. Richardson drives out for Robbie Ryan. Hurt 3 right on the money.